Jaya Rukmini Dwarakadesh, Rukmini Dwarakadesh, Rukmini Dwarakadesh, Rukmini Dwarakadesh. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parijakacharya Shtod Sat Shri Srimad Abhay Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parijakacharya Shtod Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Grantharaj Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 5, canto 4, text 1, chapter entitled Frustration of the Sacrifice of Daksha. Maitreya uvāca bhavo bhavānyā nidhanam prajāpater asat-kṛtāyā avagamya nāradāt sva-pārṣada-sainyaṁ tad-adhvararbhubhir sva-pārṣada-sainyam tad-adhvararbhubhir vidrāvitam krodham apāram ādadhe Maitreya uvāca bhavo bhavānyā nidhanam prajāpater asat-kṛtāyā avagamya nāradāt sva-pārṣada-sainyam tad-adhvararbhubhir vidrāvitam krodham apāram ādadhe Maitreya uvāca bhavānyā Mataji's, please. Asat-kṛtāyā avagamya nāradāt. Vidrāvitam krodham. krodham apāram ādadhe. Maitreya uvāca. Maitreya said, Bhava, Lord Śiva, bhavānyā of Satī, nidhanam, the death, Prajāpateḥ, because of Prajāpati Dakṣa, asat-kṛtāyā, having been insulted, avagamya, hearing about, nāradāt, from Nārada, sva-pārṣada-sainyaṁ, the soldiers of his own associates, cha and tad-adhvara, produced from his Daksha's sacrifice, ṛbhubhiḥ, by the Ṛbhus, vidrāvitam, were driven away, krodham, anger, apāram, unbounded, ādadhe, showed. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, Maitreya said, when Lord Śiva heard from Nārada that Satī, his wife, was now dead because of Prajāpati Dakṣa's insult to her, and that his soldiers had been driven away by the Ṛbhus demigods, he became greatly angry. Purport. Lord Śiva understood that Satī, being the youngest daughter of Daksha, could present the case of Lord Śiva's purity of purpose and would thus be able to mitigate the misunderstanding between Daksha and himself. But such a compromise was not attained, and Satī was deliberately insulted by her father by not being received properly when she visited his house without being invited. Satī herself could have killed her father Daksha because she is the personified material energy and has immense power to kill and create within this material universe. In the Brahma Samhita, her strength is described. She is capable of creating and dissolving many universes. But although she is so powerful, she acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as his shadow. It would not have been difficult for Satī to punish her father, but she thought since she was his daughter, it was not proper for her to kill him. Thus she decided to give up her own body, which she had obtained from his, and Daksha did not even check her. When Sati passed away giving up her body, the news was conveyed by Nārada to Lord Śiva. Nārada always carries the news of such events because he knows their import. When Lord Śiva heard that his chaste wife Sati was dead, he naturally became exceedingly angry. He also understood that Bhrigu Muni had created Ribhu-deva demigods by uttering the mantras of Yajur-veda, and that these demigods had driven away all of his soldiers who were present in the arena of sacrifice. Therefore he wanted to reply to this insult, and thus he decided to kill Daksha because he was the cause of the death of Sati. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Devamrita Swamniti Namane. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamniti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So we can see in these chapters how Sati, failed, but she tried her best. This is the Vaishnava's mood. We are not worried about success or failure. Srila Prabhupada would often say that. He said, I didn't expect much when I came to your country. My spiritual master told me to print and distribute books, and I just focused on that, and everything came from that. And Srila Prabhupada was not in any printing industry. He was not printing books like Lal Bihari or these bookstores in Vrindavan. He was a pharmacist. But he said, whatever the spiritual master wants, there was no excuses. Of course, if we want to give excuses, there's so many excuses. But if we want to sincerely give it a try, like Jatayu, when he saw Ravana was taking Sita, it's not like Jatayu was in any doubt whether I will win or Ravana will win. No, he knew that I'm going to die if I interfere with this, for sure. So he gave it a good fight. He plucked off the heads of the donkeys and he clawed Ravana. But Ravana was so powerful, he sliced off his wings and he fell down. He was actually holding onto his life just to give the message to Ram, like what he saw. And Ram performed, the funeral for Jatayu just like he would for his father. So Vaishnavas, this is, Prabhupada said, let me die preaching. You can bury my body on the top of the roof of the temple. Back in the day they had a huge temple in Henry Street. Was it Henry Street? Like a big mansion. Prabhupada said, let me die preaching, that's a glorious way to go, and you just bury me on the roof. So this is the mood of the Vaishnavas. Not considering any loss or gain, but service for the sake of service. There's nothing else. Krishna will do the rest. Like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he asked Srila Prabhupada, because back in the day, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was getting libraries and schools and everyone to buy these books of Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, and these books were not even out yet. They were not even published or available. But he was so enthusiastic that he was getting pre-orders for these books. He asked Srila Prabhupada, how do I do this? And Srila Prabhupada said, you try your best and Krishna will do the rest. So back in the day, they knew this art of subtle things like mantras. We see Satī was able to leave her body through her yogic powers, her mantra powers, and Bhrigu Muni was able to chase away the soldiers of Lord Śiva through mantras. So very powerful. One time Prabhupada landed in an airport, and Prabhupada was giving a speech, and Prabhupada told the reporters there are 3 ways to travel. Prabhupada said one is through the pigeon, and one is through the machine, and one is through the mantras. And the reporter was bewildered. And he asked Prabhupada, why did you fly in American Airlines? And Prabhupada said, just to be one with you. So he exactly knew how to, present things to these reporters that will cause them curiosity. So the acharyas, like today for example, is the disappearance day of Ramanujacharya and also Sripad Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya, for example, he is our, Lord Chaitanya appeared in this sampradaya of Madhvacharya, and that's why we are called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And Madhavendra Puri is mentioned, is the desire tree come from the spiritual world. He was the first one to display ecstatic symptoms in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And in his travels, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would meet someone, and Mahaprabhu can tell just from the devotee. He would ask him do you have any connection with Madhavendra Puri? And the devotee would be like, yes, he came here, I even cooked for him and I briefly had his association. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go into ecstasy. So, this sampradaya is very special because the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to appear in this. I wanted to read some of the teachings of Madhavendra Puri. Madhvacharya. And also today is also the powerful appearance of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya, while I'm finding the teachings of Madhvacharya, I'll speak a little bit about Ramanujacharya, which is easier for me because grew up hearing Ramanujacharya pastime. So Sripad Ramanujacharya, he lived for about 120 years, and he is an incarnation of Lakshmana. Rama Anuja. Anuja means the younger brother. So Rama Anuja means the younger brother. And just like we have, Balaram, we have Nityananda Prabhu. Same tattva. Also the tattva of the Guru, very, very merciful, very, very powerful. So Ramanujacharya, it's mentioned, you cannot speak about him without remembering his celebrated disciple, Quresh. Quresh was such a dedicated disciple, and he was always ready to serve his spiritual master. And Quresh, what happened is, when he realized that Ramanujacharya was going to leave this world, Quresh went to Ranganath temple, to the deity, and he was praying to Ranganath, "My dear Lord, is there any way you will allow me to go to the spiritual world?" And the Lord said, "Quresh, why do you even have to ask this question? Because anybody you point finger at, they can all go to the spiritual world." The Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya is mentioned that the Lord has given this service to the pure devotees. Like, you decide who comes to me and not. Like, I personally don't have to, get involved. So Quresh was praying like this because it's mentioned when we go to the spiritual world, the senior previous acharyas and devotees, they come to receive the soul that have done so much service and sacrifice and successfully has come to the spiritual world. They come to greet him. So Quresh didn't want his guru to come to the gates of Vaikuntha to greet him. So he was praying to the Lord, "Please, I want to be there." One time Quresh was laying on the new bed that the devotees have made for Ramanujacharya, and all the god brothers, they were upset. Like, what nonsense, you laying on this bed is for Gurudev. He said, "Yes, I just want to make sure it's comfortable for him." So this was his mood. So when Ramanujacharya heard that Quresh, the disciples told him that Quresh prayed like this and the Lord spoke to him like this. And Ramanujacharya started dancing, waving his chadar in happiness, and the disciples are like, "Oh, Gurudev, you're so happy, like, can we know why you're so happy?" "Oh no, just that the Lord said anybody is connected to Quresh will go back to Godhead, so I have hope, I'm also connected to him." So this way, the guru-disciple relationship was so beautiful. There was this disciple of Quresh became envious, and Quresh's disciple was working for this king called Kulatunga. And Kulatunga, he was a fanatic Saivite. Even in Hinduism we have fanatics, it's not only in other. And this Kulatunga's mission was to establish the Lord Śiva as the Supreme. So this Quresh's disciple told him, as long as Ramanujacharya is alive, you won't succeed in your mission. So he just gave him a hint. So Kulatunga sent some of his guards to go bring Ramanujacharya to the court so they can have a debate with the scholars in the court. And when these guards came to take Ramanujacharya, Quresh knew what that meant. So Quresh begged his spiritual master, begged Ramanujacharya, "Please give me your saffron clothes and you please take my white cloth and let me go. Why do you have to go? I can easily defeat these Kulotungas, Pandits. So out of love for his disciple, Ramanujacharya allowed this. They loved each other so much. Ramanujacharya was so loving and kind. One time one devotee came to Ramanujacharya and said, I want to serve you, I want to live with you and serve you. And said, sure, will you do anything I say? Yes, anything you say. Every day you have to give me a little bit of the water that washed your feet. Every day you have to give me a little bit of charanamrita from your feet. And the disciple is like, okay, I already promised whatever the Guru wants. He would give me every day a little bit. One day Ramanujacharya went somewhere, came back late at night, the whole team of devotees after preaching event. And this devotee was awake waiting. He said, you haven't eaten all day, you didn't go to sleep. No, I haven't done my service today, I wanted to give you. So amazing, we can't understand. Two things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got from Ramanujacharya's teachings. One is pure devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, and the other thing is Vaishnava Seva, service to the devotees. Two principles he took from the Sri Prabhupada. Anyway, Koresh went to the kingdom and they gave him a leaflet saying, Lord Śiva is the supreme, and you just sign it here underneath in the dotted lines or palm leaves and you can walk away. And Koresh wrote sarcastically saying, even Drona is greater than Shiva, and he signed. It's a measurement. Shiva is also a way of measuring things. It's like, Drona is also a way of measuring things. So, in a sense, it's like milligrams and kilograms and like. So he wrote, Drona is greater than Shiva, and signed his name. And the king read it and said, oh, how dare. I heard about your audacity, but now I can see it. But earlier, Ramanujacharya helped the sister of this king. So the king ordered the guards not to kill Ramanujacharya, but just to pluck his eyes out. So the guards didn't know this is not Koresh, but anyway they took him in the middle of the forest and they burned his eyes out. And Koresh is thanking them profusely and showing gratitude to them, said, thank you. And the guards are like broken hearted and they wanted to die. Like, why are you thanking us? We just did the most cruel thing to you. No, you gave me such an opportunity to serve my spiritual master. I would never get this opportunity, never ever again. And Ramanujacharya found out about this and he was like, so overwhelmed. He gave him a mantra. He said, you please go to Varadaraj in Kanchipuram. And Varadaraj is the king of boons, Varadaraja. And you go and chant him these prayers and Varadaraj will give your eyes back. So Koresh goes and chants his prayers with so much feeling. And Varadaraj says, what can I do for you, Koresh? Oh, this disciple of mine that became envious and betrayed, so many Vaishnavas. Could you please forgive him? And then Varadaraj is like, okay, done. So anything else I can do for you? He said, no, that's all I want. And then Ramanujacharya meets with him in happiness and he sees he's still blind. So, did you go to the temple and do what I said? Yes, my lord, I did. So what happened? Oh no, I asked for something else. And then Ramanujacharya told him, please go back and ask for your eyes back. Again Quresh goes and sings these prayers given by a spiritual master, and the Lord speaks to him. So what can I do for you? So you know that King Kulatunga? Kulatunga developed a huge tumor in his neck with so severe with living worms in it, and he died so horribly. And the Lord said, this Kulatunga, he's suffering in hell like anything. What about him? Could you please excuse him for all his offenses? And then the Lord is like, is that all you want? I said, yes, that's all I want. Please release him. And the Lord said, okay, done. And then he goes back again, and then Ramanujacharya this time got upset with Quresh. Said, you're so proud, you lost something that belongs to your spiritual master. So-called your body belongs to me, and you keep asking for so many other things except for your eyes back. So go back and get your, ask for the Lord for your eyes back. There's two versions of this pastime. Some of the acharyas say that Quresh prayed to Varadaraj, and the Lord said to him, what can I do for you? So please bless me, I can see you and my spiritual master. That's all I want. I don't want to see everything else, just you and my Guru. So Ramanujacharya meets with him and said, did you pray? Yes. Did the Lord give your eyes back? Yes. But I still see you blind. No, Guru Maharaj, you wearing like this, you look like this. And so how is this possible? No, I just don't want to see anything else. I just, what is the use? Like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, he had cataract. They wanted to take him to Calcutta to do some operation. They said, don't take me to hell. He said, Calcutta is hell. So what's the use of this fleshly eyes? Like Bilu Mangal Thakur, his eyes was giving so much trouble, he voluntarily plucked them out. It's like distracting me so much from the mission. So these acharyas, they're showing example. Like we're reading in this pastime. Even in the movies, the revenge movies are pretty popular. Some guy's wife was innocent and she got killed, and then he shows up with a machine gun and wants to wipe out the whole town, and he wants to take revenge. And these movies are so popular. Injustice, like my wife was innocent, and Daksha did this to her. So Lord Śiva is going to show his powers. It will become like a competition. Daksha is going to show his powers, and Bhrigu Muni and Lord Śiva produces a demon from his hair. It's pretty amazing what the false ego and anger can lead to. So much false ego. So much false ego. Recently, there was a politician is being interviewed, and somebody is saying to him, oh, such and such says he doesn't like you. Oh, I don't know who he is, but I also don't like him. It doesn't matter who he is, or I don't know him, or I don't know him. Doesn't matter. I also hate him. Just like that. They're very childish. So this is the false ego, but the acharyas are teaching the opposite. In Kali Yuga, if we go down the road of anger, for example, there was a student, he would get angry all the time. So the Guru told him, every time you get angry, you put one nail in this dead tree, and you come back after a month. I don't know what the moral is, the disciple was saying, moral of the story. So he would do that. So after a month, the Guru told him, take out all the nails. So even though you took out the nails, the holes are still there. Sometimes out of anger we speak very harsh words. Even later we regret. Sometimes we don't regret out of false ego, we justify. But sometimes we regret. But that stays like an arrow that breaks a clay pot, Bhagavatam says in the 11th canto. The harsh words of an uncivilized person. So what it can cause, the damage. The psychologist is saying, especially if you're raising a child, it's like you have to be very careful, like how you talk to them and treat them and like that. Because pretty much like in 10 years, they form their personality for life and the experiences and the trauma. So many children growing up with, they're like crazy, they have to take anxiety medicine. It's become like a norm. Panic attacks, anxiety medicine, health problem, mind, mostly the mind can't commit to anything, like, nobody can take responsibility these days. I saw a funny quote, it said, if my neighbor said hello to me one more time, I'm moving out. Like they don't even want to make eye contact nowadays. So this is the modern society, It's considered normal, like angry, revenge, road rage, shooting, killing, so much distraction. Completely nothing to do with us, with the reality, but the acharyas are teaching like humility and focusing on the service of the Lord, selfless service. Not like we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are doing these things to get some piety and then we can go somewhere else. No, this is the process. Chanting Hare Krishna is the goal. Serving Vaishnavas is the goal. Taking prasadam is the goal. Distributing books is the goal. These are not activities that's going to lead us somewhere else. This is what we're going to be doing in the spiritual world. This one pujari was happy to meet the enthusiastic devotees in Vrindavan. He told them, if you continue like this, next life you can take birth as a pujari and worship the deities like me. And when the disciples told that to Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, go back and tell him, if he worships nicely the deity in Vrindavan, next life he will take birth in ISKCON and serve the Sankirtan mission. So we can see, from the example of Madhvacharya, the example of Ramanujacharya, the example of Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta, unlimited acharyas are coming and going like the waves in the ocean. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkritam. Prabhupada said, to kill the demons, Krishna, just one strong wind, so many millions of demons will die. Krishna doesn't need to worry about that. Krishna comes to give pleasure to the devotees. And Prabhupada says, sometime you go to marketplace and it was not your goal to buy something, but then you see it's on discount, so you say, okay, let me buy it. So it was not your mission or goal. Prabhupada says, similarly, Krishna comes to give pleasure to the devotees, but while he's here, he said, let me wipe out some of these demons, but that's not the goal. So acharyas are coming to set example. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajana enagata sapanta. This path of dharma is very complicated. It's hard for us to understand. But mahajana enagatasya panta. If you just study Lila Amrita, we can understand what is pure devotional service. You just study the life of Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. Their teachings, pure devotion. The soul can never become equal to God. It's one of the principal teachings of both Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. We are always eternally individuals, even in the spiritual world, and chanting God's names, they stress so much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Madhvacharya's camp, and the disciples have already forgotten the principal teaching. And Mahaprabhu went and performed Sankirtan Yagna in the mud and reminded them, you should always chant Kirtani Sadahari, you should chant the holy name. Ramanujacharya, he heard his spiritual master, Goshti Purna, had a very powerful mantra, and Ramanujacharya would walk. Say for example, you're walking from here to San Diego to get a mantra, and the devotee said, not this time, I have to see, come back. And then Ramanujacharya walked back. Do some service, serve prasadam, something. We'll think about. Ramanujacharya would go back. 18 times. One time there was a deity on the procession spoke to Goshti Purna, give this boy the mantra, please. Still, he had to interview Ramanujacharya so much. I'm going to give you a mantra, very confidential. Please do not distribute it. One of the instructions was, don't distribute. And Ramanujacharya's question to Goshti Purna, like, what will happen if I distribute? This mantra will send whoever hears them and chants them back to Godhead. And Ramanujacharya was already excited. And on passing through, he's seeing people are wasting their valuable human life, doing nonsensical things. Like Tukaram's wife. Vaikuntha aeroplane came, but she refused to board the plane. She said, I have to milk the buffaloes. She said, you go to this black face. He ruined my life. She's talking about Krishna. He ruined my marriage life. You go to wherever this black face is, Vaikuntha, whatever. I have to milk the buffalo. I have to... Ramanujacharya was walking by and he's seeing so many people wasting their life, and he couldn't take it anymore. He climbed the Gopuram, the tallest temple he can find, called everyone. I have a valuable jewel I want to give you. Everybody dropped everything and gathered under the... Please repeat after me, Ramanujacharya was screaming. The Guru told him it's a very secretive mantra, and he's climbed the tallest building. And he's saying, repeat after me, Om Namo Narayanaya. And everybody is screaming, top of their lungs, Om Namo Narayanaya. And this creates such a, excitement. And then the word gets to Goshti Purna that, did you hear what happened? He said, I can't believe this. Bring him to me. Ramanujacharya comes to him and said, for this offense, you will have to go to hell. I warned you so many times. I scanned you so many times. I gave you something so precious, and you obeyed my order. And Ramanujacharya said, my Lord, it's true, I disobeyed your order. For that, let me go to hell, but all these people will go to Vaikuntha, which is more important. I don't mind. And the Guru embraced him. He had a change of heart, and he's like, my God, you are my spiritual master. I was like a neophyte, I was a Kanishta. I was, I didn't have this, this kind of realization and compassion that you have. So like this, Acharyas were saying, very important to chant God's names, to serve the Vaishnava. Ideally, we should be serving the Vaishnavas. At least we stop speaking badly about Vaishnavas. That's a good start. Now we are doing the opposite of what we should be doing. So like this simple process, there's 64 items of devotional service. The Acharyas Especially Srila Prabhupada gave us 5 things. Worshipping Tulsi, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, living in the Dham, chanting the holy names. What's the other one? Nam Kirtan. Worshipping the deities, living in the holy Dham, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Nam Sankirtan, chanting I already said that's Nam Kirtan. Anyway, so these 5 principles, if we can do that, we will attain perfection. And in a sense, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahaitu Kitoi. We can serve the Lord, birth after birth. What an exalted blessing. We have nothing going for us, but all of a sudden we are given this benediction. So I'll stop here. If anybody have any comments or questions. Danya has a question. You have a mic, bro? Why did Satī not kill her father? Go ahead.
Why did he just climb the tallest tower, Gopuram, and chant the mantra even the Guru said not to chant it?
Yeah, so there is one thing is to chant for our, to get blessings just for ourselves. But the Vaishnava's mood is he wants to take as many souls as possible with him or her to the spiritual world. So that's the mood of the Vaishnavas. Not just like Prahlad Maharaj prays the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many yogis and sadhus living in the caves of the Himalayas. Maunam chiranti vijane na parartha nishta naitan vihaya kripana vimumuksha eko nanyam tvadasya saranam brahmato anupas. Prahlad says there are many yogis, they're just chanting mantra so they can go back to God and they don't want to come into the city because it's Maya. But Prahlad says, I don't want to go back to Godhead until the last fool is delivered. So Vaishnava's mood and compassion is, if something is so valuable, like Prabhupada would tell, why they're chanting $60 for the mantra? What nonsense. And why is it secret? Why some guru is giving a mantra to a disciple and he can tell to somebody else? Like why? If something is so valuable, why is it kept secret? Why is it being charged? Prabhupada said, no, we go Hollywood Boulevard here and there, we do the Harinam. So even the cockroaches, pigeons, homeless, anything that hears the holy name, even the trees, they are elevated. That's what Haridas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was sad. How will all these living entities be delivered, Haridas Thakur? And Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, by the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, everything moving, not moving will all be delivered.
Wow.
And yes, you can also distribute books and deliver them, representing Srila Prabhupada. I was reading, Ramanujacharya had 700 fixed up sannyasis, 12,000 brahmacharis, and 300 Mataji renunciants. 300 women disciples, they're in the renounced order. I don't want to start this discussion at the end of the class, but it's a hot topic right now. But I'm just saying, it's like the thing is, we can all do a little service. We are not the greatest, we are not here to deliver, but we are assisting the greatest and we get benefit.
That is too much for my mind to even remember.
You can handle it. Anything else? Mangalarati Mataji. My wonderful god sister is passing through and we're so happy to see you. We used to serve together in Atlanta. Now she's blessing us. Jai, thank you also very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Turn it off. Not that.